and welcome to Let's Talk Trek, UK's #1 Sunday night Star Trek show.
Hosted by three dudes.
Well, it's usually four dudes, but
tonight, the three dudes.
The three amigos. Yes.
Dan came late. Makes a pleasant change.
Hey. Welcome to Smut O'Clock. Right.
It's post-watershed. Hey.
Ole. Well, what a week it's been. It's been a busy old week.
It's been a week of ups, and it's been a week of downs.
Downs, indeed.
I'm very, very sorry to learn that your association football team did not win the football game yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we won't dwell on it too much. We said we weren't going to talk about it during the show. But yeah.
Is it true, Richard, you could not get into the stadium?
No, I couldn't get into the stadium due to me not being in France. But luckily, I avoided the French clearing my sinuses for me, which was nice. So,
evening, Mark. Evening, Gary.
Good evening, all.
What ho, chaps? What ho, what ho?
Get him.
What ladies?
That one.
Val.
No, Auntie Val.
Val's a lady. How dare you?
Can we have a rendition of Val looks like a lady? Val looks like a lady.
I can't remember. Is it by Aerosmith?
Dude looks like a lady. Aerosmith. Yeah.
Is it time for my cowbell solo?
No.
I'm sure Richard's
Far
sleeping
too loud.
so appreciative of your cowbell.
And again, it doesn't work without the cow.
Right, so it is Let's Talk Trek, and we're going to do some Let's Talk Trek isms. So there'll be some of our features, and we're going to talk.
No, we're not going to talk about it, Dan. Let's talk. We're going to talk about Strange New Worlds, but as we've alluded to on, so if you've not seen, if you've not seen Strange New Worlds yet, we are going to talk about it. So there's going to be spoilers, but we're talking about it in arrears by 1 week. So we won't talk about the latest Strange New Worlds. We are going to talk about last week's Strange New Worlds, and there will be spoilers. So if you're not like it, then tough. Tune out now. We don't want to ruin it for you.
So shall we talk about the elephant in the room?
Have you got an elephant in your room?
Destination Star Trek. Important update. We've decided to run just one big Destination Star Trek event this year. This means Destination Star Trek Germany, taking place on the 23rd to 25th September, will be the one official European Star Trek event in 22. We know this will be disappointing to some or all of you. We look forward to a new Star Trek event in the future in the UK. However, there's also some good news for our UK level fans who will be able to enjoy a tribute to Star Trek at this year's LFCC on the 8th to 10th of July, where many of the guests that were going to go to Destination will be attending. Ticket holders, an additional email will be sent regarding your tickets, and then there's the dates for LFCC.
I wasn't going to. Just mentioned it once, but I think we may have gotten away with it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So what I'm going to say about this is, and we are very fortunate that we've all been on stage at at Destination and various bits and pieces. I get that a lot of people are angry, and I understand that. And the announcement was dropped on Friday afternoon, and if it's anything like, I'm not defending, it's just an observation, I imagine most people aren't going to get replies to emails or anything until Monday. Let's be honest, trying to expect replies on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday is probably unrealistic. So we'll see how the next week pans out. Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. Reply to emails on the weekend.
Yes, but you charge a fortune to do so.
Not a fortune. Do you know why divorce is so expensive? It's worth it.
Is that on the bottom of your business card?
Yes.
Richard's in such a melancholy mood because of that news. Look. You look so forlorn.
Still, what were the dates of Destination Starship London, Dan? Can you remind us? Was it last weekend in September?
Yeah, last weekend in September, beginning of October.
So here's the great news. Rikers Beard will instead look to run their own Rikers Beard event, as we did last autumn when we had our bridge set, and we'll see what we can do. We'll look into a venue and we'll see what we can throw together.
I'd like to chip in with a serious note. Another E minor. A lot of people have got hotel rooms booked. A lot of them are non-refundable. But we've all got that weekend free.
Yes.
So, if we've all got that weekend free, we've all got that weekend free. If you've got a non-refundable hotel room booked, I know the London Marathon is on that weekend in London. So if you contact the hotels, I think they'd be crazy not to want the room back to sell on for a higher profit. So you may well be able to get something back there. But yeah, even if you've got the hotel room booked, you can't refund it. Probably a lot of the Trekkie fans have got non-refundable hotel rooms booked as well. If you can't come to our event, wherever that may be, then maybe you could all meet up in London somewhere and make use of the hotel rooms and just have a good night and get together.
We should get in contact with our friends at the old Custom House Hotel and see if they'll give us the room back.
Yeah. There is an
alternative. I had a bit of an alternative idea. So the Excel at London, where the event was going to be happening, they do have lots of shows on the Excel. Maybe we could just...
The vets were good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe we could just crash another show that weekend, but all show uniform. Because let's be honest, the thing is not really what's on stage or the thing, it's seeing your friends. So if we've all got non-refundable rooms at the Excel, let's just crash another show and just meet up.
All rooms are refundable.
So let me see what's on at that time. And see,
okay, all right, cool.
Anything worth crashing. Let's see.
Remember at Birmingham when they had the sex worker convention? that was a real.
We kept going in there by mistake.
There really was. There was adult. I forgot how they word it now. The Adult Entertainment Industry's annual convention, and there was people turning up with suitcases that were setting off. They were vibrating like the clappers, weren't they? It was.
Okay, so shows we could invade that weekend. There is the e-commerce expo.
Boring.
There is the EU GMS Congress.
What's that then?
It's for clinicians, clinical scientists, trainees, educators, and health service researchers.
Well,
it's medical.
Failing all that, I think there's a very good chance the Rikers Beard will be hosting another get-together in Ramsgate that weekend. So we just need to clear it with the owner of the hotel. But if anyone wants to get in there for a non-refundable room quick, it's going to be the Oak Hotel in Ramsgate. It's lovely.
Before we say it's going to be the Oak Hotel, let's find out if it's willing to have
it's likely to be. Yeah, don't book yet because last time the guy who runs the hotel did say if anyone books, they can have a discount, and they gave us like a discount code. So but it's probably going to be in Ramsgate. It's probably going to be at the Oak Hotel. Don't book yet because we might be able to get you a discount for it, and we'll see if we can arrange our own convention with blackjacks and hookers.
Yes.
Right. Let's have a look through some of the comments. Christoph says, "Aren't the waving cats female?" Also, was always hoping for a green girl, Trekkie, or Vicky, or Trekkie girl. Shari's on.
I don't think mine's female. There's no damage to any of its bodywork.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, Shari.
Linda.
What, hey, Linda?
Gary.
I hope that's not your password, Gary.
Katie says, I've just got here and missed last week, so probably missed the context of why there's a guitar. So I'm going to assume there's going to be a musical adaptation of Ode to Spot, which...
Guitar.
There's often a guitar.
Yeah.
For the record, Katie is really down for. Christoph says he'll be in England, be it in Ramsgate or London. Or we could all go to the London Home Building and Renovating Show, which is how you take a house worth £100,000 anywhere else in the country, but is worth £2 billion because it's within the M25. So,
yes, my cousin just sold his house for £9 million, and I'm thinking this is just preposterous.
golly, was it a nice house?
It was a very nice house, yeah. Belsize Park.
Wow. There you go. Didn't you just sell a house too?
Million.
Yeah, how much did you just sell yours for, James?
Well, a lot less than 9 million.
Right. So now we've talked
decimal places off, shall we?
Now we talked about the slight cancellation of Destination Star Trek. Is anyone going to be going to this LFCC Spirit of Star Trek event?
No, because I've got one weekend this year where I have plans apart from Destination, and that's it.
Well, I have the choice between going to that or an event in Portsmouth. If I'm honest with you, I think I would prefer the event away in Portsmouth.
Ironically, my other event is also
Yeah.
in Portsmouth.
I mean, this is nothing against these guys know me better than our viewers do, but I really do. But for me, birthdays are quite special, and it's a birthday event, and I think it's people should get together and make the effort for birthdays as much as possible. So,
why have I not been invited to an event in Portsmouth?
You have been.
Oh, I should probably check my emails. Okay. Awkward. Right. Okay. Oh no! What a mistake to make.
What a mistake to make.
Yes.
The beautiful ladies
with legs
So,
and boobies.
Yeah, Mussolini. He's a nincompoop, huh?
So I was working out the other day, and this isn't to get all political on the price of events at the moment, because I get that event, no matter who the event is. And so for those that don't know on the stream, I have two jobs. I've got an employed job and a self-employed job. The self-employed job doesn't pay me to have time off because I work for myself. And to take off the 4 days for your average convention and pay for the hotels and pay for the travel and pay for the entrance ticket, I'm probably in the hole to about 1,200-1,300 quid, realistically. And it's a big financial commitment to make, for an event every year. I would be quite happy, to be honest, if the events went back to every other year. I think every year was a little bit.
I mean, I can't lie. I preferred the events in Birmingham.
Go to the north.
Yeah, it was a better venue. I preferred the hotel and everything there, and you didn't have to pay £9 for a pint, which was
yes, that certainly hurt, didn't it?
Yeah.
Mind you, trainer, we could get home in an hour and a half.
We did, but then the car journey was very pleasant anyway with our drive time jukebox of HMS Pinaford. It was fantastic. That was lovely.
When we got lost.
Yeah.
I kept driving up and down the same junction, getting lost repeatedly.
So, something I thought we'd talk about today, and I'm sorry to sort of spring this on you guys with zero preparation time. As a lot of people on the stream are already friends with me on Facebook, they will have seen the Facebook status I put up this week, which I'm sure both of you saw.
Yes.
And I just wanted to have a quick chat about how it's okay to say you're not okay, because there's quite a few people who are not feeling okay at the moment. I just thought that's quite an important message for us.
It's very poignant you brought it up. I know we said we were done talking about Destination Star Trek, but the whole reason we started this stream was because a lot of people weren't getting their annual get together, and for a lot of people, it's the time when they can get together, and if they aren't feeling okay, and they can be in good company. So for those people who aren't feeling okay, it must be especially frustrating that they've cancelled this event. So it's fun to hear.
And the thing is, what we're trying to say is, if you are feeling not okay, reach out to the community, reach out to there's plenty of people who will probably listen, and I find that out myself. It's more than you think.
Yeah, and I think that would be very poignant with this event being cancelled. A lot of people, I'm not saying it's all they live for, but it's certainly a highlight for me. It's what I call my reset button every year. I get away and the kind of it's a weekend just for me, and I call it my reset button. And I was gutted when I found out it wasn't happening. So for a lot of people, they're going to be feeling the same way, I should think.
Absolutely. So that's sort of just what I wanted to say on that one. Was that. So let's move on. Now, Carl's not here tonight, so there is no real collectible unless you've got one that you want to show. Let's have a look. So lots of comments coming in. Katie says, if you're interested on the topic of the event attendance prices, I've run across an interesting my piece or two that goes into some dirty uses about places like Ticketmaster, Domain Ticket, UK, and in the US. Whatever you can have it. Ask us a joke.
Yeah, Katie, we're very interested because we're hosting an event. So we want to know how to.
We want to know how to maximise our profits for what last year we ran as completely free.
Completely free, and and if they're watching, many thanks to our two celebrities that came and helped it make that event, Mr. Tony and Mr. Gary. Especially Gary, he was very good. I mean,
Tony was always good value for money.
Gary's very good value for money. Yes.
Very entertaining, very interesting man. Lots of industry experience.
Quite tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And has he reclaimed his message probe yet?
No.
Well, no, I'm still not going to spend a fortune posting it to him. He'll have to come down and get it.
Yeah. He said he'd come again if we did another one, so he can have it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Excellent. So, as we've not got on a collectible corner, I thought we'd move on to some other features. We'll resurrect a couple. So let's move on to this one.
It's a fake.
Yes, this is the news that there's going to be a Star Trek Star Wars crossover sitcom called Star Walk. And it's going to feature Ewan McGregor as Captain Christopher Pike and Anson Mount as Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh, awesome. Have you watched any of... I know it's Let's Talk Trek. I'm sorry to do this. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. It's amazing.
Well, it's tolerable, certainly.
No.
I've not seen it.
It's good.
But in other fake news, apparently they're going to go back and digitally remaster seasons 2 through 4 of Discovery, and they're gonna wind down 20% of the tiers.
Wow.
They can just, with CGI, they can just remove, so it just looks like it says she's crying. It looks like someone's just like stamped on her fur.
Right.
In other news, George Lucas has announced the release of Jar Jar Triumphant, a 26 episode long story arc based solely around Jar Jar Binks, who will have a crossover episode with Neelix and possibly even Tuvix to see who is the most irritating character in all of science fiction.
Fantastic, and that's it for fake news for today. Thank you very much.
He wishes he'd never done it now, hasn't he?
Right, let's play the next one that I've got ready, which is this one.
Welcome to the bridge.
So
That's old news.
yeah, so this is basically this is what we did last year. I have to say, I think it was a rip-roaring success. I thought it was very good. A lot of people can. The main thing is a lot of people, including the hotel, were asking when we were going to do another one.
Yeah.
You know, the people who came enjoyed it. The hotel staff enjoyed it, which is always lovely. The hotel manager said that we drunk so much. Like
They certainly made their money.
They
on the
made
bar.
their money
That's why we got it for free
on the bar. Yeah. He was a bit disappointed that we nipped over the road to eat, the
Weatherspoons
Weatherspoons.
for dinner, yeah, because it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. Well, it's USS Atlantis 20 just a few hours ago. Yes, do you know what we never did? Is we never did a video of the evening. No, we didn't, because we genuinely we discussed whether we were going to film a bit or take a few photos, but we decided we just wanted to enjoy ourselves and not worry about making a video or anything. So, sorry, we've got genuinely everyone did have a good time. You know, it was pretty full. You know, it was really good, and yeah, I think the chances are we're going to have to do it if Destination Star Trek's not going ahead this year.
If there's nothing else going on anywhere else, we'll do something.
Yeah.
Well, there is a little part of me, that is tempted to nip over to Germany.
That is good, yeah.
Well,
It's the weekend before, so I have to move my week plans a week backwards. Flights aren't especially expensive, or you can go over on a boat, because that's what my granddad did. So,
mine went in a typhoon.
Yours went in a typhoon. Okay. You know, there's plenty of options to nip over to Germany. It's not a million miles away.
Yeah, I won't be going to Germany myself.
Why?
Don't want to. I don't speak any German.
I thought you said, Dan, that this was a largely German-speaking event.
Yeah, it's not, you know. I mean, the Germans are lovely people and they're very hospitable. It's a lovely country to visit.
And it's a lovely, clean country.
And most of the people
to Oktoberfest, which of course occurs in September.
But most people at Destination Star Trek Germany, I would think you're going to be hard pushed not to find some Trekkies that can speak English. So I don't think you'll feel alone. I think you'll probably find a lot of English Trekkies will have gone there. But
I just think it could be a very good, jolly German beer festival with a Star Trek thing sort of tied onto it. We could make it both.
Last time I was in Germany, my flight home was cancelled, and I had on the cost of my insurance company to stay at Oktoberfest for an extra 2 days drinking beer.
Also, is that when you got your Lederhausen?
Yes.
Yes. I did wonder when you got your Lederhausen.
Right, let's have a look. Ramsgate was fun. Christoph says, Richard, you would survive DST Germany without speaking any German. There are people that don't speak English, but many do.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I don't really like speaking to people anyway, so if no one speaks English, I'm quite happy. It's fine.
Oh, well, yeah.
But no, honestly, I'd love to go to Germany. I'd like to visit as a tourist. I've got no interest in going there just for a Star Trek convention. That sounds a bit harsh, I know. But a Star Trek convention is something I can do in the UK. If I was going to go to Germany, I'd want to go and see some.
Not this year, you can't.
Well, not this. Well, we can go to the Atlantis. But I'd like to go to Germany as a tourist and see some.
Would you go to Vegas for a Star Trek convention?
I've been to Las Vegas.
Yes, but only to see the Penn and Teller magic show. The Star Trek convention would be good, but to see Penn and Teller would be something else.
Okay.
Because it's a real shame the Star Trek experience has been gone for 12 years now, 14 years now. That was something else.
Absolutely. Wow. So we've done some fake news. Let's move on to real news, of which there isn't really that much this week, apart from Convention Mood. We covered that one. We're a couple of weeks away from Paramount Plus being launched in the UK. So
that's going to save us having to fly to the States every week to watch Strange New Worlds, isn't it?
Absolutely. And if you're in the United Kingdom, you'll get that free if you've got Sky. Is it Sky Entertainment or Sky Movies? One or the other. You'll get that free of charge in your Sky package if you've got Sky TV. If you haven't, it'll be a subscription-based service online. And there will be an app on Fire Stick and most smart TVs, I imagine. So,
other than Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and Halo, is there anything on Paramount Plus?
Well, I wonder, and there's no confirmation of this off anybody yet, but in America, when P Plus launched, Netflix lost all the Star Trek because P Plus suddenly had it transferred over to them. I wonder if we'll have the same. So,
I think so. Yeah.
Which is one of the few things I use Netflix for, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Oh, Stranger Things has started again, though. I do like that.
Oh, I've not seen Stranger Things at all, actually.
Oh, it's brilliant. Got to watch it late at night with the lights off. It's good.
The
Yeah.
present Mrs. Dillon not watching it, so I've not been able to see it since.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy Stranger Things.
Fair enough. Yeah, I get very, very little viewing time, and I've got Strange New Worlds, and I seem to now be making a little bit of room for Obi-Wan. So that's my viewing for the week. Apart from like rewatching stuff at work. So let's talk at this point. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, episode 3. Well done. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, James. This is your warning that we're about to discuss Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode 3. If you haven't seen it yet, or you don't want spoilers, tune off now. Alternatively, keep listening. I'm going to discuss this now.
Before we talk about it, should we give them our customary rating out of 10?
Yes, well, Dan won't allow me to give an episode more than 10 out of 10, so I'll just call it 10.
I will. You can choose whatever number you want. Okay.
32.
32.
Mm.
Nice. Okay. I would give this
That's
one.
a bit generous, actually. 26.
I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I thoroughly, and I will elaborate further once Dan has given it his 9.
I'm also going to give this a 10.
Oh, he wasn't. He was going to give
Someone's
it a
feeling a
9.
bit generous this week, isn't he? Someone got out of the right side of bed today.
Someone
Like,
had four.
Those
Someone
two
had,
girls have a fight. That's what it was.
somebody had 14 hours in bed. I'm very happy today. I went to bed at 5 a.m. this morning and didn't get out. 4:30 this morning and didn't get out of bed till 6 p.m. So.
Yes. Yes, so this was this is the traditional Contagion style episode, isn't it? Where everybody comes down with something, and Dr. McCoy, or in this case, Dr. Mabenga, is tasked with finding a cure.
Boop.
I like these jackets. I'm not a fan of these. I know a lot of people rave about them.
Is that why you only gave it 32?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or 26. I rounded it down to.
Yeah.
We don't need those. Get rid of those. Because
So my first
No, but what if there's a chilly breeze?
So my first thought when I saw this episode, a couple of things came to my mind. That big dome in the background reminded me of the Jurassic Park, the one with the
Battle cage from Lost World.
yeah. So that reminded me of that. And it also reminded me of the film Serenity when they beam down and they're discovering that where the Reavers are from. It reminded me of that a lot because it was sort of the scientific experiment on a planet, abandoned planet because of that. Very much that sort of vibe. So I know Richard hasn't seen Serenity. So
No, I've not seen Serenity
Oh, you've
Or-
got to watch Firefly.
or Stargate.
Whatever you're doing, there's only 17 episodes of Firefly. You've got to sit down and watch it immediately.
Got that mildew still.
No, listen, seriously. At the beginning, you'll be like, oh, this is just like a space western. This is rubbish. And at the end, you'll be like,
Why would
oh,
a
you
s-
can't take the sky
Why would
away
a space?
from me.
Why would a space
Oh.
western be rubbish? I love a western.
Well,
I
you
love
love it.
space.
For heaven's sake, stop what you're doing and watch Firefly
Well,
immediately.
we're trying to talk about how brilliant Strange New Worlds was last
Yes.
week. So, do those jackets have pockets? Everyone knows that Starfleet doesn't allow pockets. Pockets aren't canon.
Like the
Wow.
Enterprise, they have loads of pockets.
Pockets everywhere in those jumpsuits.
They've got everybody's pockets.
Evening, Vicky.
Hi, Vic.
Sorry, Victoria. Now, what I loved about this episode the most, and forgive me because when I don't like something, I waffle. When I like something, I waffle far too much. But this, to put it into context and explaining to someone that's been, for example, my brother that's not really watched Star Trek since Voyager finished, I said to him, this episode contains all the charm and creativity of an original series episode.
Yep.
But with modern budget and modern professional television making techniques, and that is it literally it ticked all the boxes from start to finish. It captured the charm of the original, the storytelling of the original, but with
the
polished
effects and everything as
with the
well.
effects, and to be blunt, the acting, the quality of the acting certainly was absolutely. Oh, we've got to read this out. Hang on.
Dan Mason is not endorsed, sponsored, or affiliated with CBS Studios.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it really is. What they've done it in every episode, but this one in particular, you felt you were watching an original series episode.
With TNG era production values.
No, it's better than TNG era production. It's fantastic.
I'm going to have to stop you there. Better than TNG?
Production-wise, yeah. We've talked on the show before, and I said how it was unfair on Discovery that The Mandalorian came out and had a much bigger budget and kind of blew it all out of the water. This is holding its own. I think the production values, the sets look amazing.
Oh,
they really do.
It's just perfect.
It's fantastic. It really is good.
Now, go on. Sorry.
And that's just saying, visually looking at it and saying how the theme and the charm was wonderful. Forget about the story. The story was amazing. We had some brilliant character development. We had a really good. I mean, I always said the fight scenes I judge harshly on. Absolutely love the fight scene between Number One and the security officer. That was just fantastic. So well done. Really enjoyed everything about this episode. Ticked every single box. And at times, honestly, you can close your eyes and you would think that Leonard Nimoy was still alive in that episode because he just outstanding again. Really good. Just like, I thought he deserved pockets. I think more the reason they had pockets on Enterprise was because they had to carry a lot more things around with them. In TNG,
it's strange you mention this because I was about to bring this up with this slide. Something that's very different in this scene compared to traditional landing party scenes that you'll know from TNG or DS9 what have you, is the fact that they're all lugging around crates of equipment with them.
Yeah.
It's the fact that in this day and age, they don't know what's down on the planet or what to expect, and they actually go prepared, which I'm quite fond of that. I'm quite fond of taking all your bits and being prepared.
I've always figured the reason why in Enterprise they had pockets and afterwards they didn't was because of replicator technology. Oh, I forgot my screwdriver. Replicator, give me a screwdriver. It didn't matter, did it? So they had pockets.
One down.
Yeah, they had pockets because they had to carry stuff around with them.
Christopher says the Strange New World sets are mostly huge video wars, but yes, the visuals
Yes.
are cool.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as they do in The Mandalorian. Yeah.
Except for most of the Enterprise. Not quite sure what you mean there, Christoph.
I think he means most Enterprise physical set.
They built a
The
physical set.
sets are physical, right? I'm with you.
Okay, so let's move on to our next slide. Physical sets like this one.
I'm slowly getting a bit of a crush on Number One. I can't lie.
Chapel.
No, Number One.
Chapel. You're wrong.
Who'd win in a fight?
Oh, Number One will win in a fight.
There you go. That's my girl.
Who would you rather take out on a date?
Oh, Chapel.
Number One.
Chapel.
You could walk down any dark alley with that girl and feel safe.
What? Because the robbers are going to go for her first.
Yeah. she can slow them down while I run away.
Okay, so here we've got something I quite liked in this is the sick bays ran out of room, so let's break out the camp beds.
Yeah,
that
nice camp bed.
They've stolen from a scout hut somewhere,
Oh, those are good quality military issue ones. Those alley frame ones.
Yeah, that's right. There's a shot of it where it appears to be an enormous cavernous room. And that is something that does jar a little bit with TOS, that the Enterprise now seems to have vast open spaces on it that it didn't have before.
But times do change, Richard, James, and that's part of it. You've got to accommodate that things would be things that are available to do now visually weren't available in the 60s.
No, James doesn't accept this. James does not accept it as a valid excuse,
Well,
I'm
look,
afraid.
if you were to remake The Hunt for Red October, would you show the Red October having huge cavernous rooms all over it that you could run around and have firefights in? It's a submarine. It's small, it's cramped.
You say that, but the scene where he's running down where the missiles are, that looks humongous.
Well, it is a big room, but that's the biggest room on the entire submarine.
It was a make-believe submarine. It never existed.
It was based on a real one.
It was based, yes, on a real.
They just stuck some bits on the model. Anyway, where were we?
Talking
Yes,
about-
the fact that everyone seems to be becoming addicted to light and has vitamin D deficiency. So sunbeds would be the way to fix this. Which,
Yeah, I'll just look out the window.
I'm a bit disappointed that the doctor's gone for skinny jeans there. I thought, a bit more class.
Dr. Mabenga.
And have you noticed costume-wise how Nurse Chapel and number one there aren't wearing heels? They're wearing flats.
more importantly, Nurse Chapel is a nurse in a sick bay that is full of sick people wearing white, which to me seems a little bit stupid.
No, it's very clever. Because the last thing you want if you're with sick people is to get like dirt. This is why medical staff always used to wear white, because they had to show they were clean. If you got some blood or something on you, you had to go and change and get it off straight away. So that's why they wear white.
You got some on you there.
Yeah. But yes, I was bringing up why they're not wearing the heels, because although obviously heels make women look a bit taller and stick their bums and their boobs out nicely, it always struck me as very impractical in a military organisation in a ship that they would wear heels. So I quite like the way they've got them in boots.
Yeah, they almost look like motorcycle boots on Chapel.
They do.
Like motocross boots. But yeah.
No. Well, you get a little plastic pinny, don't you, these days? Actually, for most of the grime.
So in this scene, I believe, is this where she's telling them that she's got it but isn't affected? I think that's what this scene was.
Baby, she's got it.
Okay, meanwhile, Pike and Spock are in the room that...
Michael tour by the looks of it.
Well, it's a room that's allegedly a library, but it's also the spore room from Discovery, I think, sort of just rejiggered.
Yes, they may have reused some prop elements there. The library, everything is on big little tubes.
Yes. And again, we get a close-up view of this jacket, which I do quite like.
And also, let's talk about it. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's gone for Moose there. His hair's naturally buoyant, doesn't need too much gel.
Do you think of Moose?
Yeah, because it bounces. It bounces as he gets excited. It has it has the sort of bounce you'd associate with Moose, rather than the rigid sort of T-Hawks from Grease Lightning kind of.
Or
Yeah. No, it's definitely Moose.
The engine room set, which Christoph has just actually talked about.
It's a brewery, but it's still a bit weird.
Christoph says he thinks the engine room is particularly dark. I imagine not very well lit. At least it's not a Coors brewery that they just blatantly rebadged. Not looking at you, Star Trek 2009, but yeah.
I got to be honest with you, I didn't even realise that was the engine room when I was watching it.
Yes.
It doesn't really look like any other engine room we've ever seen, does it?
Really, no. Not engine roomy, is it? You know.
It doesn't have a big blue flashy thing.
No, there's no blue flashy thing. And Geordie wasn't in the corner going, let's get these people out, you know.
And rolling under the door.
Yeah. Oh, I love that roll.
I
just
wish.
wish. I just wish he'd knocked his visor off and had reached back and grabbed his visor. That'd have been just brilliant.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect.
That cat's doing me head in. I don't know if you can hear that at home, but I can't listen to that anymore.
Put it away. Put it in the dark. Solar power.
That's probably why it's going off, because of these lights. It's gone mental. It's really bright.
So yeah, there we go. That's the new engine room, which we've seen a couple of shots of in episode 2. Yeah,
We get to see more next week.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the cooling rods. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yes.
I'm going to have to watch episode 4 again while sober.
I wouldn't. No.
It's such a pain to fly to the States every time I want to watch it.
Now these look. I mean, I know it looks a bit like the Avengers, but I like these jackets.
Well, yeah, they've got a sort of TNG onward vibe about them, haven't they? With the point on the shoulder, but yeah.
And I like that we've found out we've got, and it is very much a nod to Bashir's, oh, his character's too boring, let's make him genetically enhanced. And they've done that with number 1 as well. I think that's, it's given her a dimension to her character that's sci-fi and not just confused about a gender or whatever. It's made it interesting in a sci-fi way. Because we watch sci-fi for escapism, so it's nice.
Now, interestingly, I saw the episode of DS9 the other day where they're modelling the emergency hologram on Bashir, where the news of his genetic past comes out. And one of the lines that sort of stuck out after watching this was the fact that I can't remember who it is, that it might have been O'Brien or it's Cisco that turns around to Bashir and says, there hasn't been a case like this seen or discussed for over 100 years. I wonder if this was the sort of last instance of.
Well, Cisco was referring back to the eugenics legacy, I think, which is the prejudice that our security officer has got against her because she's an ancestor of Noonien Singh. So I like the sociological dimension to that as well. I think the storyline is a winner all round. The subplot line is a winner all round. Not quite as good as the Doctor's, which is just brilliant, but it's still good.
Okay, so let's have a look at some of the comments. Okay.
Could be, yeah.
Maybe, absolutely.
Does that explain the mini skirts then?
Absolutely. And we thank Gene Roddenberry for it. Actually, I'd disagree a bit there, Christoph. I think one of the things I've enjoyed about what they've done with the sets is it looks 10 times brighter than Discovery in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Alan's been at the mushrooms. Nope, he's been watching Indiana Jones. Here we go. There we are.
He's referring back to Geordie rolling under the door.
Linda says they were pre-selling those fabulous Fugug boots at Mission Chicago.
Fugug. Sounds Swedish.
It does sound Swedish. So actually, let's go through some more slides and I'll talk to you about something Swedish in a minute.
Meatballs.
No, not meatballs. ABBA. We're going to talk about ABBA, the group, in a minute, but there's a reason.
Is it because they're now holograms?
It is because they're now holograms, yes. We're going to discuss that.
Computer, activate emergency holographic ABBA.
We are the board. We will add your Waterloo to our own, yes. Yeah, I mean, I like the new sick bay. I like the biobeds, and it's a little bit bigger, but yeah, I like it.
A little bit bigger.
That's blatantly an iPad in a case he's using, because you can see the charging port on it. So ruins that one slightly, but yeah. Right, moving on. More engine room goodness.
It looks more concerned to me.
Yeah.
I thought
it looked like a giant scale version of the arc reactor.
Do you think the engine turns into a giant Iron Man style robot?
I just didn't really. I never twigged it was the engine room. Got to be honest with you.
And the
no knowledge of this character.
What bloke in a red shirt? But he's not going to last, is he?
So what was he about then? Don't remember him.
at the beginning, he's the one that got infected, isn't he?
Is
That brought you-
Is he the one that put his head into the glass panel?
Yeah, Patient Zero.
yes.
I got there in the end.
Yeah.
Bit of time, you see. I'm 42 now.
So yeah, that's sort of that. So let's have a look.
Or indeed lingerie.
Yes. Right. So yes, as we said, we're giving it some scores. Episode 3, very good. We'll talk episode 4 next week. What do you think to the... Is there anything that you really got from the episode that you'd like to talk about before we move on? Or...
Anson Mount's quiff.
Apart from
Talked
Anson
about
Mount.
his quiff. I just liked everything about it. I really did.
It's like the producers have looked at everything people enjoyed about the TV series Star Trek in its many incarnations and went, why don't we just make that?
It-
And the fans have gone, this is exactly what we wanted.
I mean,
why have you been messing around with all this other stuff? Give us this.
we all very much enjoy Picard, but Picard feels like a show based on Star Trek characters rather than a Star Trek show. It's hard to describe it, and I enjoy it very much.
It feels like it was made by fans, not made by committee.
Yes, it feels like the Orville. It's just pretty.
It's like, they've gone, what does the public actually want? And then delivered on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I said we talk about the Swedish group ABBA. Now, the reason for this is yesterday was the launch night of their new tour. And in the tour, they are holograms. It's all been done with motion capture, and it's holograms. And apparently, as listening to a BBC reporter who said that it's as good as real people, and even on the live screens that look at the stage, it looks like real people. And it's like we're getting one step closer to holodecks. It's quite cool. It's quite a cool feature. And if you want to see more about that, Google onto YouTube ABBA hologram tour. There's some really good videos of it, so you can sort of see how.
That did it as well. About it. Yeah, they use the same technology. They had a virtual Robbie. No, they did. When they toured last, they had a virtual Robbie. Yeah.
Let me entertain you, he said. Go on then, Robbie, in your own time.
Yeah, so that's that new virtual hologram technology. All the rest of it's coming down, which is very cool. So.
Can you envisage other uses for this technology, Dan?
Yes, absolutely. Think of it as think of the uses for like training. You know, if you are training to be a firefighter, or you know, close. You know, if you were going to be training in a rescue situation, you could put people into almost holographic rescue situations to train extreme circumstances without actually endangering people. Plane crash or building fire, or all that type of
I think you'd need a hard light for that, though, wouldn't you?
They could be estate agents, couldn't they? With a straight face, they could tell you a number of propositions about a property.
You know what? It's talking about using it as an emergency services tool, though. If you could have holographic, so this is going to sound a little bit out there, but think if you could have your own projected owl. That would be something you could. So say someone was trapped in a building or something, you could send a hologram in there, an actual thing they could interact with. Yeah, that could actually really would be quite important. Could be.
Don't worry, Sam. Help's coming.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a device that's a drone or something that has it. Yeah, I think that could work.
Did you think of a use for it? Or?
No.
Fair
An
enough.
answering machine, maybe. Hello, I'm not here.
Well, yes.
My answering machine back in the day used to say, "Hello, this is the fridge. The answering machine is on holiday. But if you'd like to leave a message, I'll write it down and stick it to myself with a magnet."
You should have said. "Hi, this is Toasty Toaster. The answering machine's broken. Can I get you a muffin?"
How about a waffle?
I was looking at one of this week. I caught myself looking at one of these boys.
You're a macaroon boy.
It's made by a company called Matterport. It is a 3D scanning camera, and it's what they're currently using to do.
Is that what Quark was using to try and take pictures of Kira with?
So its current usage, and it's very much like,
It's used by estate agents.
yeah,
Not
estate agents are using them quite a bit, but it's one of these. It's going to be the basis behind all these new hologram technologies when they come out. So it's very cool stuff. So it lets you see what it is and then scan in and zoom round. Unfortunately,
It's fun, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it is £3,000 for the camera, and then you have to buy a monthly subscription to their service to be able to use it as well. So it's not just the equipment cost. You have to then pay, I think it's £150, £160 a month for their premium.
But if it comes with the caravan, that's all right.
No, I don't think it does.
Mm.
Right, so let's have a look. Vicky says there is some virtual medicine training now.
I had that case, Dan. Do you remember where there was a robot that did some surgery, and I asked if we could have the robot to come and give evidence?
Indeed.
I am the robot. I made the mistake.
I thought Worf. Can we put Katie's message back up? I think Worf did a superb job. Keiko simply was being awkward. He said, "Look, you're fully dilated. Now you can give birth." And she just was like, "Well, I'm not ready yet." And it's like, "Oh God, it's like, what have you got? Try on another pair of shoes before you give birth, have you?"
Amazing. So it's time for our outro song.
So oh God, yeah, right.
What are we singing?
You got to do the high bits. Hang on.
Oh, we
No cowbell, not too loud.
No, I'll put the cowbell down.
You haven't got a cow anyway. Hang on. We're talking away. Oh, I don't know what I'm to say. I say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. Take on me. I'll be gone in a day or two. Now let's hear it sung properly. Take on me.
Oh dear. Did you see the difference there, dear viewer, between the two versions, sung properly and not?
I think we're really starting to harmonise well now.
Good night.
Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Look after yourselves and each other.